This is the third and last part of our video interview with Alistair Croll, the author of Lean Analytics. And we will talk about the importance of having a single analytic metric. You must watch this video until the end if you have a vision and are struggling to understand whether you have or not the chances of executing it. Once you are done with this one, don't forget to watch also part 1 and part 2. Video links are on the description below.
Just a question about metrics now. Why is it so important to have one single metric? You advocate that a lot in your book. And how can I start up in different stages and changing MVPs all time? How can they fit that logic, which I agree, into that fast changing environment?
I think when the book had come out, if we had changed it to one metric that matters at that time, people would have yelled at us less. Ben and I were with a very large publishing company in Europe, and we jokingly, when we saw their dashboard, referred to it as the many metrics that might matter. If you have a lot of metrics that might matter, it's very hard to make decisions. We were being a little asinine when we said that. There are obviously metrics that matter, like what is your payroll this week, or how much taxes do you owe the government? But those aren't really behavior changing metrics, so I wouldn't call them analytics. Obviously, there's data that you need to provide in the ongoing nature of your business, right? But what does it cost to get the garbage emptied in the building? That's not going to change your business strategically. What we're talking about here is metrics that are going to change your business. And you should be, it's just like when you're solving an equation. You need to solve it for one variable so you can see the other parts. All we're saying is solve the business equation for one variable at a time by isolating that variable and seeing if you can change it. And the metric that you should be changing should be the one that's the most important in the business. In the example I just gave you from Lean UX, the metric changed from email subscribers to conditional ticket buyers to confirmed speakers to venue cost to additional ticket sales, right? But each of those metrics mattered. They weren't worrying about speakers, or if they were, it didn't matter until they knew 300 people would buy a ticket. So one metric that matters, right, the stage of the business you're at, the business model you're in. Subscription business cares a lot about churn, right? If you're a pizzeria selling pizzas, you care a lot about repeat buyers, which is why you offer 30 minutes or it's free. It's why you build an app that remembers your preferences. If you're selling wedding rings, you care a lot about the maximum shopping cart size. You care a lot about how many people they tell. So you try and sell insurance and cleaning services, but you don't offer refunds for that wedding ring. So the metric changes based on the business model and the stage you're at.
Okay, and why do you say we are all liars? We lie to ourselves. Can you give some?
Well, I mean, if you want to get deep on human psychology, I do believe that we are driven by very bad impulses that used to stop us getting eaten or abandoned by our tribe, and today lead to a lot of very bad decisions in our public lives, in our political lives. So without getting too political, I think that we all want to do the things we've been told we're good at because we feel that's where we're most useful. And the things we're good at, because we were trained mostly by universities and media, are the things everyone else is good at. Finding the things nobody wants to do and figuring out how to do them better, which is usually around sales or marketing, is absolutely essential. I'm working on a book right now called Just Evil Enough, because the reality is that good marketing in an attention economy has to subvert a platform so that you get a better return on your attention investment on that platform than other people. And that's why I think that we all tend to lie to ourselves about what we're doing that has value. We all we don't want to think that we suck. We don't want to think that our business idea was bad. We don't want to think that our co-founder can't do their job. We don't want to think any of these things. And so we tend to select for information that's biased. And I've been teaching a class for the last 3 years at Harvard Business School, which is about cognitive bias and critical thinking and data science. And it is amazing to me the number of ways humans, especially in groups, make bad decisions about data. The class is literally just a long list of examples of bad data decisions.
What advice and tips do you give to programs like us, accelerators, and someone trying to help startups to put the analytics in front of them, and at the same time do not completely remove that dream, right? Because if you remove that motivation, that passion, and that vision, something that you only you can see, but the rest of the world cannot see. If you remove that, you don't have entrepreneurs, right? So how?
Yeah, there's a great line about, I don't remember who said it. When Dropbox was started, everyone knew that cloud storage was a solved problem. Fortunately, the founders of Dropbox didn't know that, right? Like, you have to recognize that there's a lot of genius, and that, the idea may come true, but you may not be the one to make it true. So I think that's one lesson, is you say to the founder, your vision for what the world will look like is amazing. There's no guarantee that you're the one that will make that happen. And analytics and being data-driven increases the chance that you'll be the one to make your vision come true. That's how you separate the vision. Yeah, absolutely. People won't want to use, the user interface for taxis is crazy. Once upon a time, being able to hail a car on the street with just your hand was a superpower. But now, in an era of mobile phones, forcing your customers to wave their arm in the rain in case you see them is a horrible user interface. So whoever had that vision of we should hail cabs with our phones was brilliant, right? The question wasn't, is your vision right? The question was, are you going to be able to deliver on that vision and make money off it or change the world? So that's how I keep them excited about the vision. And then all the analytics is about how making sure they're the ones that get to deliver that vision. And then the second thing is, I think you have to tell founders to leave their expectations at the door. There are lots of expectations that people have. They think they'll get rich. They think the idea is 90% of the work. They think that if they build the perfect business model, it'll just work. Or they think if they can close the customers, it'll just work. Or they think if they can create the right product, it'll just work. And the reality is, you need all of those functions. You need the hacker to sort of build things with knowing technical debt. You need a hustler to go get people excited about it, whether they're employees or investors or customers. You need a designer to make sure that every single interaction with the customer, from a subject line to an icon, is consistent. And you need an analyst to keep them all honest. So I would say ruthless honesty about what the risks are, like really what the risks are. Not, I need cabbage buyers, not cabbages. I need conference ticket holders, not a venue. Ruthless honesty about what the risks are, which is hard for people to take, because the act of telling them what risks are often lowers their value in solving those risks, because it turns out the risk isn't the thing they're good at. Right? So first of all, acknowledge the vision. Tell them that this is about execution so they can be the ones to deliver that vision. Second, a lot of expectation setting on 97% of all exits happen through acquisition between $15 and $25 million. Let that sink in. If you take $2 million in funding on a 10% valuation, on a $10 million valuation, then you're going to have to deliver an $80 million exit or a $100 million exit to get that VC their 10x back, right? If an investor gives you $2 million, they want $20 million. So if you take $2 million on a $10 million valuation, you better know you can sell that for $100 million. But 97% of all exits happen between $15 and $25 million. And the investor will put a clause in there saying, I get to tell you, no, you can't accept that $25 million acquisition, even though it would make you rich. If you as a founder don't know this, the first time you get a term sheet, you're going to quit. So you got to set the expectations around wealth, around funding, around amount of work, and what the risk is. And then you got to sit down with them every day and ask them, are they being ruthlessly honest about the problem? And are they focusing on the right metric to try and mitigate that problem? All of that done within the context of, I am trying to be the one to deliver on my vision. Your vision may be great, but there's no guarantee you're going to be the one to deliver on it. And if you have a vision and you don't want to deliver on it, go be an author or, TED speaker.
Thank you, Alistair. Just to wrap up, could you tell us a little bit more about your work and how people find you, and what are your plans? What are you working on at the moment?
Sure. So I run a few conferences. There's a conference called Startup Fest in Montreal, Canada, which is an international startup conference, about 7,000 people. I run a conference called Forward 50, FWD50, which is a conference on digital government that has around 20 countries participating from around the world. I chair Strata for O'Reilly. That's the world's biggest conference on big data and analytics. I also have a conference I run with Georgian partners called Scale Tech, which is a very small event, invite only for scale stage entrepreneurs. And I do a lot of writing, although I haven't done much lately. I'm currently working on two projects, pardon me. One is called Tilt the Windmill, which is about how to manage innovation portfolios in large organizations. And one is called Just Evil Enough, which is about subversive go-to-market strategies. And then I spend a bunch of time public speaking on the intersection of technology and society, teaching stuff on AI, data science, ethics, things like that.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your kindness to be here with us. And I hope you have enjoyed this interview with Alistair, the author of Lean Analytics. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you like. Thank you. Thanks, Alistair.
Thank you.